The other thing that Donald was talking about in the article that really spoke to me was how record deals are changing as the industry is evolving and as technology is evolving. And it's true. And even I've not been practicing nearly as long as Donald Passman has. He's probably got 3 times as much experience as I do, if not 4 times as much. He's been in the game a while. But even in my time, like the things that I look for in a record deal 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago is very different than the stuff that's in a record deal today. And even in like the stuff where a lot of things I wrote about in my book, Break the Business, which talks all about the dangers of record deals, I spend chapters on contractual terms that are dangerous, but honestly today aren't really a big deal because record deals don't really cover them anymore. For example, and going back to Passman's interview, he talks about, for example, one of the things that used to be like a very crappy term in record deals was, an artist would get a royalty on a record sale, but they would always put stupid deductions in the record deal to take royalties away from artists, right? They would say, well, you get a 15% royalty, artist, but we're going to take 10% of the sale price from your royalty for packaging, because we know you're not going to get a royalty on the packaging, or we need to take out 10% for breakage. A certain number of the records are going to break in the store, and so we have to compensate for that. And those things would make artist side entertainment lawyers crazy because you'd be passing the risk of that onto an artist. And 10% of the records aren't breaking in the record store. It was just the labels trying to steal money from artists. Right. But it's 2023. Nobody's buying records in record stores, although vinyl is making a comeback. And so record deals are changing. Artist side entertainment lawyers, we don't care as much about those deductions that are screwing artists out of money because it's not where artists are making money anymore. Another big one that we used to tear our hair out over as artist side entertainment lawyers were what are called controlled composition clauses, where the label would say, okay, for a label artist who also wrote their own songs, the label would say, okay, we normally have to pay a mechanical royalty to you as the songwriter to make records with your music, but because we own you as the label, we're going to we're going to force you to give us a cheaper license than if you were just a third-party songwriter out into the world. And we entertainment lawyers like me used to fight clauses like that, but now it's 2023. Most music is streamed, and those mechanical royalties are paid by the streaming service, not by the label anymore. And so we don't fight as hard on those clauses anymore. And so it's just a huge mind shift for us and for the things that we used to think were horrific parts of record deals that are completely different. But here's the one thing that Donald Passman talks about where labels have changed their approach, and it's something that we as artist side entertainment lawyers have to fight over. And we have Taylor Swift to thank for this, of all people, and that is re-recording restrictions. So in the old days, record deals used to say, you're going to record this song for us, the label, and you have to agree that you're not allowed to re-record this song with anybody else for a period of time, usually 5 years or something. And that usually protected the label because you don't want that artist, recording it a year later and then all of a sudden the one they recorded for you is worthless. Now, and then but recently we had this issue with Taylor Swift where she lost all of her Big Machine masters when she left that label. And so to basically reclaim her power back from her old label, she waited until that 5-year restriction ran out in her original record deal and is now re-recording her entire catalog, and now her new recordings are more popular. And so those Big Machine recordings from the old days are becoming worthless. So now every record label doesn't want to be the next Big Machine, and so now every record deal today has very strict re-recording restrictions in them. Some will say you can never re-record this, or it's 10 years before you can re-record this, or 20 years, because they don't want what happened to Big Machine with Taylor Swift happen to them. It's changing things crazy.
Which is fascinating because the truth is there's more technology for re-recording. There's more technologies for remixing. And so just as they're tightening the reins, the profusion of these types of re-recordings is both more possible and just plain out voluminous, man. It's just everywhere. I mean, I have people doing remixes of our tunes all the time. Yeah. Now, that's not necessarily a re-recording. Okay, it's a slightly different legal concept and musical concept, but it's related. It's related.
Well, it is related in the sense that, one of the things, the reasons why labels weren't worried about re-recording in the old days is because re-recording an album or tracks from an album would have been very expensive, right? Back in the old days, ironically, it was more expensive to record a master in the old days because you had to go to a professional studio and hire a team, and it could be $20, $30, $50,000 to record a master. But now in 2023, with the proliferation of technology that we have, you can record a pretty terrific master in your bedroom for nothing. And so labels know that it's much easier to re-record music, and so they have to have even stricter re-recording clauses.